If you're deep in your CMA exam prep, you know that profitability ratios are, well, they're a pretty huge deal. So today, we're going to tackle one of the big ones, gross profit margin. It's a really fundamental indicator of a company's health, and we're not just going to break down the calculation. We're going to get into what the numbers are really telling you. Sound good? Let's get into it. So let's kick things off with a question. When you look at a company's finances, what's the very first, most basic test of whether they're actually making money from the stuff they sell? Before you even get to all the other corporate expenses. It's a simple question, but the answer is incredibly powerful, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack. All right, let's get right to the heart of it. We're going to define exactly what this core profitability really means. Simply put, gross profit margin is the piece of every sale that's left over after you've paid for the actual product itself. Think of it like this. For every single dollar that comes in from sales, this margin tells you how many cents the company gets to keep to pay for everything else. Rent, salaries, marketing, and hopefully have some left over as profit. It's really the purest look you can get at how profitable the company's main business is. Okay, so that's the what. Now for the how. Let's look at the formula for calculating it. And just a heads up, the formula itself looks easy, but there is one little detail in there that can trip people up on the exam, and you are not going to be one of them. So here it is. You take your net sales, subtract the cost of goods sold, or COGS, and then, this is key, you divide that whole thing by net sales again. Now, that top part, the net sales minus COGS, that gives you your gross profit in dollars. But it's that final division that turns it into the really powerful number we want, the gross profit margin percentage. And here it is. This is that critical detail I was talking about. So many people get net sales and gross sales mixed up, and trust me, on the CMA exam, that is a classic trap. So let's be super clear on what makes your sales net. This table lays it out perfectly. You start with gross sales. That's like the total sticker price of everything you sold. But that's not the cash you actually pocket, right? You have to subtract any discounts you handed out, and you've got to account for anything customers returned. What you have left after all that is your net sales. That's the real number, the true revenue you have to work with. So here's the absolute bottom line, the thing you have to remember. Always, and I mean always, use net sales for this calculation. Using gross sales is such a common mistake, and it's a guaranteed way to get the wrong answer. Exam writers know this, and they're hoping you'll slip up. Don't fall for it. All right, so you've totally got the calculation down. But being a great analyst means going beyond just one number. What really tells the story, what investors are really looking for, is how this number behaves over time. And that brings us to the super important idea of stability. This quote really nails it. Think about it. If your sales increase by, say, 10%, you'd hope your gross profit in dollars also goes up by about 10%. When that happens, your margin, the percentage, stays nice and stable. A stable margin is a fantastic sign. It tells you the company's business model is healthy, it's predictable, and it can handle growth without its costs spiraling out of control. But what if the margin isn't stable? I mean, what does that signal? A changing margin is where the detective work really begins. So let's walk through a quick scenario to see what it looks like when these numbers start to shift. Okay, so here we've got 2 years of data. You can see right away net sales went up. Awesome, that's great news. But look closer. The really interesting story here is the gross profit margin. It didn't just go up a little. It jumped from 16.2% to 19.1%. That is a pretty big move. And if the numbers weren't enough, this chart makes that jump just pop. See that? That's not just a small fluctuation. That's a serious leap. And what that tells us is that something fundamental changed in how this company does business. This is the exact moment an analyst leans in and starts asking some tough questions. And that leads us to the single most important question you can ask. Why? The calculation told us what happened, but our job as analysts is to figure out the why behind it. Why, all of a sudden, is this company so much more profitable on every single dollar it makes? Well, it almost always boils down to one of two things. They're either getting more money in, or they're spending less money out. So you start digging. Did they raise their prices, and did it stick? Or maybe they got smarter with their costs. Did they find a cheaper way to make their product? Did they negotiate better deals with their suppliers? Or maybe they totally changed how they manage their inventory. These are the kinds of questions that get to the real story. Okay, let's bring it all back to what matters most to you right now. How is this actually going to show up on the CMA exam? Because it's not just going to be about the math. Look, the exam isn't designed to see if you can be a human calculator. It's testing your ability to think like a financial analyst. You're going to need to look at a situation, interpret the numbers, and then explain what it all means for the actual business. So remember to connect the dots. If you see a rising margin, that's a huge positive signal. It could be stronger pricing power or great cost control. If it's falling, that's a red flag. Maybe they're facing intense competition or their production costs are creeping up. And if that margin is stable while sales are growing, that's the gold standard, a sign of a healthy, well-managed operation. The exam will give you the scenario. Your job is to explain the why. So there you have it, a deep dive into gross profit margin. It's absolutely the first step, the foundation of analyzing profitability. But it's definitely not the last, because once you know how much money is left after paying for the product, the next logical question has to be, what's left after you've paid for everything else?